Converge is a software development company located in the heart of downtown Toronto. Converge has been in business for 25 years. We established ourselves back in 1994, and originally we started out as a website design company. And throughout the years, we have changed as technology's changed, and we've pivoted as a company as well. Everyone that works here is very client-centric, and all we want is to make sure that our clients have an amazing experience with us. And you know, you have a combination of people who are passionate, who love innovation, who love coming to work every day and creating and building awesome new things. Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Sonia, and I am the managing director at Converge Digital Solutions. Welcome to another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about a lot of marketing and a combination of different things, and I'm going to have a guest on. So I hope you will enjoy. You are welcome to send in comments or questions, and we will try to get to it as quickly as possible. If you have things that you want to send afterwards, or my contact information will be available, and I will try to get back to you, everyone, about your questions. So today we're going to be focusing on marketing and sort of the evolution of marketing and what's been happening in that whole world. Just to start, over the past 20 years, marketing has gone from the simple act of informing potential customers about the existing of a certain product to a complex web of interactions that take place in person, through print, over the airways, and now social media. So the internet age has sort of changed the way marketing is done, and then social media has come along and completely turned it upside down. And so marketers have had to evolve and create new strategies, and there's so many tools out there, and there's so many ways of doing marketing, and it can get a little overwhelming. I'm not a marketer, and I get overwhelmed just thinking about it. Marketing and sales are vital to the success of any tech company, but technology is evolving, and new ways to market are always changing due to the internet and social media. But let's face it, it's marketing has become a huge cost to most companies, and let's not forget that marketing to a B2B, business to business, or B2C, business to consumer, are very different way strategies of marketing. So companies who have to do both have to have completely different strategies on how to market, and companies that are doing just the B2B, but have different products that they service, or different industries that they service, or different products that they sell, also have to be marketed differently. So marketing is a very important role in any company. Without marketing, traditional door-to-door sales no longer work. Yes, that's still something that you can do, but that's not marketing yourself. Marketing is not just about sales. Marketing is about establishing yourself as a leader in the industry that you're in the specific products that you're selling. It's about creating content in that space, and showing that you're a leader and that you know what you're doing. There's so much to it, and we're going to talk about it. Before I get to that, I actually just want to give a shout out to our friends at Magic Mind, who sent me this wonderful package. I love gifts, so I do want to give them a shout out. So this is Magic Mind, and this is the package that they sent me, and it is a drink that lets you do more and stress less. So it's a nice little drink, and it's got matcha for energy, adaptogens for relaxing, nootropics for focus, and honey to make you happy. And I mean, who doesn't want to be happy? So this is a drink that will, if you're struggling with brain fog, or just concentration, or you just need more energy, this is a wonderful little drink to try. And they sent it to me because I was actually struggling with brain fog, and they sent me this wonderful package as a gift, and I've been trying it out, and it is absolutely awesome. So I wanted to give them a shout out, because I think everyone should try this. Go on their website, get the information, order it, and I'm sure you will love it. And I like the fact that it only has 15 calories, so yay. That's my shout out to my friends at Magic Mind. So back to marketing now. Today, I am so happy to introduce Kunal Singh. He is the marketing manager at Converge. Converge is, of course, a software development company that builds custom software for business to business. And basically, what we do is we build software for companies that need something that's very specific for their business, and they can't buy it out of the box. They need something that's specifically built for them. In addition to building custom software, Converge also has a line of businesses which are tech startups. Not only do we build tech startups for our clients, but we also have our own portfolio of tech startups, which is Menusano and Field Eagle. So we are marketing Converge Digital Solutions, which is a custom software company, Menusano, which is a nutrition analysis company, and Field Eagle, which is a compliance, health and safety data collection system. So, three very different ways of marketing. Welcome, Kunal. Happy to have you on. He's a little nervous today.
Happy to have you. Happy to come here, Sonia. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's Friday. How could you not be good?
Oh yeah, thank God it's Friday, isn't it?
That's why they say TGIF. Okay, so today we're sort of going to be focusing on, the evolution of marketing, some of the things that you should and shouldn't do, just sort of to guide our listeners through, what they should be doing, what they can do, think about things that they haven't thought about. So I guess I have a list of questions for you, and we'll try to get to all of them. And if anyone asks questions, we'll get to those as well. So I guess the first thing I sort of want to start with, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you and what you do and what you like and don't like.
So as you said, I'm the marketing manager at Converge Digital Solutions. It's a tech company, and I would not say I come from a pure tech background, but because of that, it's fun to work and fun to learn the company because there are so many technical jargons which are flowing here and there. Things that I love are is definitely understanding, creating more strategies for the company. Things looking at I love looking at reports, love looking at statistics. So Monday is definitely one of the best days. I know everybody hates Mondays, but I don't hate it that much because Monday morning brings a lot of reports. It's a little nervous to see reports sometimes, but it gives room to creating more strategies, understanding how people are behaving, and
Yeah.
that's what I have enjoyed throughout my career because I love population. I mean, I come from a science background, so population-based studies were my thing, and now that I'm in marketing, I just feel that I'm more client facing than initial. So yeah,
Mhm.
I guess it's been that's the thing I love about marketing. Every day is a new day to learn and just grow yourself, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to like throw in there, like everyone, not everyone likes looking at reports. The fact that you said that you do, it's like, I mean, I look at reports because I have to, not because I like it. You actually said that you like it. That's a whole other thing there. So, I guess the first thing that I sort of want to start with, because we're talking about the evolution of marketing, how has marketing changed in the past 10 years, in your opinion?
I think marketing is something that is evolving with technology. I mean, I remember 10 years ago, I was working for a company where we believed that marketing was all about creating a clever quote and deciding where to put the billboard.
Oh,
Once you do that, that's it. Your marketing work is done. I
wow.
feel so I feel marketing has evolved in the past 10 years. For starters, the customers have there is just so much competition because of internet, like you said in the introduction, because of internet. It's just every company, regardless of the size of the company, they all have access to marketing. Depending on the budget, you have tailored made marketing budgets for to serve any of the company needs. Like we
Mm,
have Menasano, Field Legal, as well as Converge Digital Solutions. Now each of them have a different budget on which they function on. So it's just marketing because of internet has become so much easier, and for us marketers it has become so much competitive. I mean, just to think about it, like consumers themselves have become smarter now because of the abundance of options. I mean, a good slogan would not cut it anymore. I mean,
yeah.
somebody had told me that marketing is no longer a love at first sight because because
Wait, was it ever live at first sight?
yeah, exactly. Initially, like 10 years, 15 years ago, everybody would say that, okay, you just create a clever slogan, understand which side to put in, and maybe a car which is crossing by that place and it's just looking at that billboard for like 5 10 times, they think maybe I
It's
should
stuck in your
buy this
head.
product. Yeah, but now it's just become different. Like
Mm,
it's become more complicated. Like you can say the relationship itself has become so complicated. It requires a holistic approach. I mean, you need better strategies to just communicate to the consumer. You like marketing personas have become so important. You need
mm,
it's a marketer's bread and butter now. I mean, you need to create a messaging strategy where you are able to tell the customer that I understand your pain, and you need a strategy to educate the customers at the same time. I mean,
mm.
working for a technical company, there are so many technical jargons that are floating every now and then, and I must admit that some of them do go over my head. So, but some of them do.
That's okay.
Some of them I feel are relevant to marketing as well, like agile, which is so commonly used in our company.
Mm,
I feel just as customers need change, so does their behavior, like their online search patterns change. I mean, looking at the keywords, and as somebody who has had his struggles understanding keywords and search engines, I feel that keywords which are relevant now are no longer relevant like just 3 4 months later, because the customers needs evolve, and so do their search patterns. I mean, I think three of the comparing the past 10 years, I guess three things which have definitely become bigger and are definitely here to stay would be content. I guess content is the king. Unless unless you're not publishing a content that uh, does not generate real value to a customer, they might not spend that much time on your website. And it's all about creating a room where they spend a lot of time on the website.
yeah.
Social media has created a platform where not only you have a room for customer support, but you also have a room to make a personalized connection. At the same time, social media has given voice to customers. So if your product is not good, they might actually go on social media and say it, and that is never good,
Yeah.
especially for startups.
Yeah. I've
So
seen a lot of those on YouTube.
so
It's not
I mean,
good.
and
Nobody wants that.
and at the same time, I mean, if you think about it, everybody has smartphones. I don't have a number, but I think there is like, I'm sure like 80%
Yeah.
of the world has smartphones at this
Yeah.
point of time, if not more. So it's like thinking I mean, it's like having a personal computer in your pocket.
Yeah.
So if you want to target real customers in real time, you need to have your websites optimized to different mobile devices. Otherwise, you will never reach them. You
Yeah.
cannot wait any, I mean, because there's so much competition, you just cannot wait for them to go home and log into your website, go open their laptops. So yeah, I guess it has grown quite considerably in the past 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. Um, so let's jump to my next question. What are some of the marketing strategies that enterprise tech companies can use to transform how they market themselves?
Um, so when you look at enterprise tech companies, I mean, in my opinion, every marketing strategy starts with a great storytelling, and that is something that has not changed. And many tech companies, I think, miss the point
Mm,
in this, because a story should be simple and personalized. It should not be bombarded with a lot of technical jargons, because in the end you are trying to create a communication strategy around stories. So one need to emphasize how the software or a product impacted the business. You need to show the world how it is making a difference. Like, not only, I mean, you can show how it is impacting communities, how it has impacted previous clients who were having similar pain points to yours. So that's where I think the company should, like I mean, apart from that, I think the company should emphasize on wider conversations in the industry to to establish
mm.
yourself as a thought leader, because that just builds more trust and in turn drives more traffic to your website. buyers. I
Funny
mean,
you're saying that. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just want to add something in there. It's funny you're saying that because I'm thinking about like 15 years ago when I started at Converge. I remember before going on my interview, and I had never been in tech before then. I decided that I was going to look at their website to like understand what they were all about, right? And I remember walking into that interview being like, crap, I don't know what these people do. The website was so technical that I was like, I think they like there. I remember never seeing anything on it that says we build custom software, right? Just plain and simple. It was like all of these Microsoft and technologies and all this stuff. And I remember when I started, like what you said, you have to, tell a story and like we didn't do that. And I still think like a lot of companies still, we always focused on the technology, not the problem we were solving.
yeah,
Right. And what you're saying is focus on the offering, the problem, right? And
yeah,
how you're solving it, not what the tech, like people don't actually care about the
yeah,
technology. Am I right?
yeah, yeah.
Right.
People just care about solving their problems, I feel.
Yeah.
they
And they don't
That's
care
the
what
hard
where
truth
the
of
technology
marketing.
is.
Yeah,
They just like, oh, if it solves my problem, give it to me. What's the
yeah,
cost? What,
yeah.
wait, first, what's the cost? And then give it to me, right?
Just two things dictate their clients' behavior. I feel there are definitely different phases, but yeah, these two are definitely on top of their list. I mean,
So
I mean, another way to create a key like a marketing strategy is to establish like you should understand that buyer personas is what should dictate your consumer behavior.
So you
Like
you you've now said buyer personas twice.
yeah,
So can you tell us what are buyer personas?
for example, it's basically a buyer. You need to identify who your target customer is first. Like first you need to identify what your product is, then you need to identify who your target customer is. You need to identify what are their pain points, what are their goals, what in order to address those pain points, where do they go generally to address those pain points. Answering all these questions would give you your buyer persona. You will know this is my target customer, this is what I need to do to just say hello to this customer and see where it goes.
Okay.
So I feel with tech companies, especially with software companies, identifying the right buyer persona becomes a challenge, because in case of software companies, it's not the person buying the product who actually ends up using the product. they
That's
can be they can be two different level two different people. Like in case of software companies, it's the C suite people who are actually trying to buy the product, but they might not be using it. They might be a different department that is using it. So
mhm.
you need to focus on identifying the decision maker and then create strategies around it. I think social media and SEOs are definitely two of the biggest way to attract business, but both of them take time to build.
Yeah.
Like social media definitely helps you in establishing your brand. I feel many companies make the mistake of hiring interns to run their entire social media. I'm not saying I'm against hiring interns. All I'm saying is that just hiring an intern to solve all your social media problems won't work, because once the intern leaves and you hire a different one, there will be a misalignment when it comes to communication strategies. So you need to have a linear communication channel with the customer, so that it is less confusing. They can relate more with you. Same goes with social media, search engine optimization too. I mean, it takes time to build, but building takes constant effort and good content. I feel search engine optimization should be centered around keyword research, coupled with a content that is shareable, because it tends to increase your company's online presence.
Right.
So yeah.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah, I agree with all of that. It is difficult to sort of bring all of the different marketing strategies into one company, but and having consistency, like you said, is not that you're against hiring an intern. Interns, can do a lot of the sort of like the little tasks, but
Mm.
you need a strategy. You need a person that's focused on making sure that that strategy is achievable. And if you have people coming and going, you're sort of that's constantly changing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So my third question, what are some simple marketing strategies for tech companies on a budget? Because I mean, like, reality is, marketing budgets from 10 years ago are not the same as now. Like, not only do you have to, like, there's still companies that are still doing print. Then you got to do like Facebook ads sometimes, or Instagram ads, or Google AdWords and advertising, and then you have social media, which is a completely different budget. So they're like, I'm thinking about 10 years ago, or even 20 years ago, or back in the 50s, when marketing became this thing where it was just about ads on a magazine, or on a door or a window, and it was just simple. It was an image,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Now you
I
have
agree.
websites and keywords and
Yeah.
all this stuff, and the budgets are insane. So what are some of the strategies for tech companies that are on a budget and can't do all that stuff?
Yeah, I
What are the
mean,
ones that you would focus on?
like just for example, like companies like Tableau or Salesforce, their marketing budget is 50% of their revenue, like I think above 50% of their revenue. So an upcoming startup cannot match that,
Yeah.
like. But on average, a company's budget is generally 7 to 8% of its revenue, like that's like a global average. But in my opinion, it's not about the budget, it's about the goal. You need to first identify the goal and then work on the budget, because that would give you clarity, and it would make you like make the whole marketing process more accountable. You would know how to assess if certain strategies are working or not. So it should be centered around identifying a goal, like some of I mean, like, and because of internet and nowadays, like, even the low budget marketing approaches are still quite effective. Like, for example, blogs, they are a terrific way to attract
Okay.
visitors. Yeah. But but when you think about blogs, you should make blogs in a way that they are focused on educating people. And when somebody looks at it, they know that this blog is published by by a company which says that, I understand your pain, because you need to be relatable to your customer. Then, and blogs are just not there. You can use a blog to guide a buyer's journey. Like, when broadly speaking, a buyer's journey can be classified into a top of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, middle of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel. When you are trying to target buyers at the top of the funnel, your blog should be focused on engagement, as well as they should be informative and engaging. When you are at the middle of the funnel, you are basically telling the customer, a potential customer, that, okay, why is your product more appealing, what are the latest updates or the latest features you have added to such and such product. And then comes the bottom of the funnel, where you basically tell the customer again that, see, this is our product and this is how it fixes your problem.
Yeah.
And that's what makes blogging a very budget friendly option for an upcoming startup. Second is PR, like, through webinars, interviews, or live discussions that we are currently part of.
Like
One can-
this.
yeah, exactly. One can establish themselves as like a thought leader in the industry. It builds trust by like whoever is looking at it, because they would know that, okay, such and such company knows what they are talking about.
Right.
Another cheap way is email marketing. I was recently reading an article by Campaign Monitor, which said that email marketing, basically the article claims that email marketing is the king of marketing.
Mhm.
Because it gives an ROI of 4,400%. And
Mm.
uh, and this email marketing could be anything from sending them newsletter, inviting them to come to events, webinars, or just sharing a content that based on their past behavior on the website, you know that this client is more interested in this kind of article. So
Mhm.
it basically makes sure that you do not get unsubscribed in a way.
Right.
And yeah, then comes the social media. Social media, I mean, social media works or doesn't work, but the fact is that it is free for most of the levels, unless you don't start unless you start paying for it. But it's mostly free. You can use social media to nurture relationships with prospects as well as current customers, and definitely bring new traffic by being part of different groups. Another way I feel, which is still budget friendly, is Google retargeting. Um, Basically, by Google retargeting, I mean like if, for example, a certain client A has visited your website, and then they go off and they go to another site. Now with the help of tools like Google Display Network, what you can do is you can display your ad on those sites as well, and they have been found to be very good when it comes to converting clients. So
Mm.
I feel these five should be used by any company, but definitely useful for a company with a low budget.
With a low budget, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think the big players out there who can afford the big budgets obviously won't have an issue with that, but especially in the tech world, like tech startups are popping up every day, and we work with a lot of tech startups that are just getting enough funding to just develop their product. Forget, I mean, some of them, most of them that we talk to haven't even thought about marketing at that point yet. They're just like, I have this genius idea that I want to build and I need money to develop it. Like
Yeah, exactly.
sales, marketing, social media, they haven't even thought about that yet. Okay, so my next question, what comes first, earning loyalty or generating leads?
um I
When
think
I was
this
putting these questions together, at this point, I was like, I wonder how he's going to answer this.
I mean, when I like, I guess different people have a different point of view when it comes to this question, but I guess I'll answer from my
I have
end.
mine, but I want to hear yours.
I guess this is something where sales and a marketing person would not see eye to eye, but I
Yeah.
think, but on a broader level, if you
Yeah.
see the company, like all the efforts, like from building the product to marketing the product and finally selling it, are focused around the customer. So what I mean to say is that customer journey becomes a very important aspect of how you want to grow your business. I mean, different
Mm.
marketing personals have different ways to describe a customer life cycle. I mean, I feel it all starts with awareness, where you tell the customer that through social media, SEO, or pay per click ads, that we exist. And basically it's a push towards the next phase, that is the research phase, where you where a curiosity is generated. A customer comes and checks out how to videos, blogs, newsletter, ebooks, articles, or white papers. And towards now towards the end of this is when a customer thinks that, okay, this is the one that I would like to go for a free trial. Now, there are companies which identify awareness as a lead. For me, I mean, I'd like to give customer more trial time. Once they are on a free trial stage, that's where I say a lead has been generated,
Hmm.
because towards the end of the free trial is when the purchase happens. And as a marketer, your work does not get over when purchase has happened. I mean, that's where you need to make sure that whatever a customer wants, especially a new when it's a new customer, like for example, training videos, has the training videos been provided, or the best practice videos have been provided? Are their concerns being met? If they are being met, how soon are we actually meeting those concerns?
So
This
are you so
actually,
are you saying that all of those things are building loyalty?
yes, in a way, it would lead to retention, which in the end would lead to
So
loyalty.
your answer is loyalty. not generating leads, is what I'm
So,
hearing, right?
so
Yeah,
what was, yeah. So what I'm saying is that lead comes way earlier than
I get
loyalty.
that.
Yeah.
I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I generating leads is important for any company, but you can generate a million leads, and 70% of them are not real leads. They're not
Exactly.
great. But if you build loyalty, and your clients trust you, right?
Mhm.
Which is part of like loyalty, and they know that you know what you're doing, then you're going to turn those leads, to being able, instead of them being 70% not effective, they're going to be 80% effective.
Yeah,
And
I mean, like
not.
I read this article by Brendan Gaines. In that, it said that a loyal customer is worth 10 times more than a first-time customer, because if a customer is loyal, they would go for advocacy, which in turn would bring you more traffic. So
Yeah,
yeah, so it has changed over the years, but I mean, like the phase graph that I'm trying to picture is a very linear graph, but with the advent of social networking and product reviews, you can absolutely be sure that a customer loves to jump between different phases
yeah,
multiple times. So
yeah.
it's no longer a linear path.
Okay. So one thing that I do want to talk about, and I know we're at the 30-minute mark, but we can continue. Um, SEO, search engine optimization, which is something that's become massive in the digital marketing world. And, most companies nowadays are doing SEO. But then, there's organic SEO, there's paid SEO. There's so many different ways of doing SEO. But my real question is, what is search engine optimization, and how important is it in today's age for marketing?
Talking to some fellow marketers, they describe that inbound marketing is all about search engine SEO ranking.
Okay.
Now, if I want to define SEO or search engine optimization in short, it is just orienting your website so that it ranks higher on a search engine results page. I mean, every company strives to make their website to be number one. Very difficult, but that's the motto of search engine optimization, because the higher your ranking on the page, the more website traffic you will draw. The more
Right.
website traffic you draw, the higher are the chances of you actually converting from, I mean, from all among between all, like among all the customers that actually decide to come into your website. I mean,
Right.
when it comes to classifying, like everybody has a different way of classifying search engine optimization. I personally have stuck to what I learned it during my MBA days when I was, I think, on LinkedIn Premium, I guess I learned it. They classified it into off page SEO and on page SEO. On page SEO is all about like anything that happens on your website page, like which is relevant to keywords, blogs, etc. Basically, I feel this is where technical SEO also comes into being. Are the images optimized? Is the website optimized so that it runs on multiple devices? So that's on page SEO. When it comes to off page SEO, we are talking about anything that happens like basically away from your website. Like that's where backlinks become real. Like example is like, or guest blogging, social media marketing. I mean, this is where external websites which are relevant to your industry and
Mhm.
have a good uh, page authority put a link on the website which leads back to you. So that's I feel those are the two ways of classifying your typical SEO.
Okay. And how important is SEO?
It's very important. It's
Yeah.
it's what dictates today's. This is definitely one of the things that has evolved in the past 10 years.
Right. And
Uh,
I guess that's because all companies have websites, right?
yes,
If you
exactly,
don't have a website, then you don't need to worry about SEO. But if
exactly.
you depend on if you depend on getting leads and getting sales from your website, that's when SEO becomes critical.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
It's I think the world is, I mean, you cannot imagine a marketing without SEO, an effective SEO strategy these days,
Unless you don't have a website at all.
unless you don't
But
have
I
a,
mean, nowadays, who doesn't have a website, right? Everyone
exactly.
has some sort of website.
Yeah, some sort of online presence. I mean, if you don't have it, it's like a business professional not having a LinkedIn account. So
That's true.
yeah.
That's true. Okay. So I'm going to skip one question because I sent it to you and you're like, I don't like this question. So we're going to skip that question.
We can deal with that question if you want.
No, I'm going to skip it for now. But I guess my next question would be, how do you market yourself as a problem solver with a solution to solve the problem? How do you actually do that?
Like, um, I think it reminds me of a quote by Albert Einstein.
Okay.
In
We're
that he
quoting
said that,
Einstein, huh?
I think in that quote, I think more or less went like, if you give me 1 hour to save the planet, I will spend 59 minutes in trying to define the problem and 1 minute in actually resolving it.
Mm,
In today's world, I feel, I mean, I feel many companies miss that point. I was reading an article on in duct tape marketing, in that they said that the hard truth is nobody really cares what you're trying to sell. People just want to solve their problems, and so basically, when anyone hires you, it's a means to an end. They want the problem solved and then they just want you gone. They don't want to see you ever again. And that's the hard truth of marketing, regardless of how many, whatever the size of the budget is or how much money you're trying to spend on this. So,
right. So you're saying that like your marketing strategies and your blogs and like your all the content you're creating should be focused around first first you have to actually know what your client problems are
exactly,
in order to speak to those problems, right?
exactly.
So
Yeah.
for example, if we're dealing with clients in manufacturing
Mhm.
and we have to do research in what are the biggest challenges in the manufacturing
Yeah,
industry, and
exactly. You need to
let's say
identify like four, I feel there four parameters are definitely key. First is
right,
understand your product and understand which
right,
segment, who is the target customer.
right. So let's use an example, right? So we know maybe manufacturing, and we've done the research, and we identified one. And that one is that they're using a lot of different systems from a lot of different companies that don't speak to one another. And the biggest challenge that we see the pattern is that they need and want APIs to be built within those systems so that they can all speak to one another. So now we know the problem. So how do you create a marketing strategy to speak to that specific problem so that clients can be like, oh, this company, this is what they do, this is how they solve that problem, right?
So first of all, you need to understand where, in case the company has a problem, who is the decision maker and where does that decision maker go to solve those problems. Like, for example, gather information where they could solve the problem. Now, having this information is basically goes back to our persona profile that we talked about earlier,
Mhm.
and it really helps you in creating a messaging strategy
Right.
which would have a trigger phrase. Like one of the strategies, like one of the email campaigns we just now launched, in that we used, when off the shelf is not good enough. So uh, you need to create a headline, and then the content team needs to work on a content to address that pain point. Now, through videos, case studies, client testimonials, we need to showcase that we have had the experience of encountering this problem for a client and we
Mhm.
have solved it. Now, also being active in discussion forum, LinkedIn Q&A, or in certain cases Quora, helps to further cement yourself as a problem solver and a thought leader, which in the end would drive traffic towards you.
Yeah. So I have a follow-up question to that I didn't have on my list. So I'm a brand new business. I don't have referrals, testimonials, case studies. I'm now launching a business and I want to get to that industry. I don't have I haven't solved those problems yet. It's all a theory because I want to start a business. How do you do that?
In that case, you need to first identify where your customers are going, where they most likely try to hang out, I guess. That's where taking part in conferences becomes important. That's where networking becomes important. And that's where you need to start showcasing your team more, because that's where you try to tell them that, okay,
Okay.
this is our team. Okay, although the company is new, but now the team has this experience group of experienced people who maybe work for Google or Amazon or something, and now we are
Ah,
starting our company. So that's builds trust, because this is something I don't think will ever change, is that because there's just so many options available for a customer, you need to build trust in order for them to come to you.
yeah. And when you don't have the experience in the industry, you're saying showcase the experience of your team and
Exactly.
what they can do.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you have clients or not, or if you've solved these problems in the past, you have a team that's ready and prepared to do that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. um, so I guess this would be my second last question. Email marketing. With everyone now using tools to reach people and send bulk emails, before I ask the actual question, sorry, that was a comment. Like, I'm one of those people that gets emails all the time, all the time. So much so that most of my emails now go to junk. And it's always someone trying to offer me something, trying to sell me something. Even my LinkedIn, I hardly ever go on LinkedIn and use it because I know if LinkedIn is showing me that I have 20 messages, it's someone trying to offer me something.
Mm.
And you know what's the most annoying part about that is that now there's a new strategy with these emails where they're all like, "Can we set up a meeting?" And I'm like, "Yo, first off, if I was to set up a meeting with every single person that reaches out to me, I would do no work."
Meetings all day. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm like, I think that's a terrible strategy because like I'm not going to meet with you. And I actually have people who call me. They're like, "Oh, can we set up a meeting for next Tuesday at 10 a.m.?" And I'm like, "No, I can't. I'm busy."
Yeah, I
Oh,
keep getting those emails as well.
they're annoying. So
Yes.
this leads me to my question. How can you personalize emails that have value, real value to the receiver? And I'm asking this question also on a personal note because they're annoying. But if I actually received something that offered me value that I found valuable, I would pay attention. But how do you do that?
Uh,
Well, sorry.
First,
How do you do that? Like personalizing it,
hmm.
where I don't feel like you've sent this email to 1,000 other people.
So the way I would approach this problem is, you obviously, like, email marketing remains like just now. Initially, I had claimed that, the article that Campaign Monitor says that email marketing is the king of marketing. Uh, Although it is a very cost effective way of marketing, so it's not something a company would like to stop. In
Yes.
fact,
My question is, how do you
yeah.
personalize it?
So when you're trying to send the email, your target is how many customers would open it. You want to increase your engagement rate, and in order to do that, personalization becomes important. Now, when what I feel with personalization is that there it's not like, email marketing cannot be a very lazy affair. It has to be backed with thorough research. Like, for example, when we compile a list of 100 customers that we want to target, there are a couple of things that we definitely take into account. First of all, when we are trying to compile the list, it gets segregated into the size, the type of the company, type of the industry, basically the type of industry, the size of the company, the location of the company, because segregating that helps us in creating a personalized email for each of the segments. That is one.
Mm, okay.
Second, we do not just go blind uh, and email any company which I see under the sun. We go to other websites, we leverage websites where we see a company's online behavior. And now, for example, if I know that such and such company is is online looking for such and such product that I have, I would definitely target those companies, because then I know that, okay, uh, they will be more receptive to a new email, because they are desperately looking for. There are, in fact, there are websites which could help you, which could help you in this way, because you would know how many times they have logged in, searched for a certain keyword in the past 1 week, so you know that they are urgently in a need of such certain
Yeah.
product, and that's when you try to approach them. Because just approaching people blindly would just lead to, like you said,
But
getting
I
spammed with
feel like
junk.
80% of the stuff that I get
Yeah,
is just like,
irrelevant.
it's like I'm gonna shoot this out there and pray and hope that something comes back.
Yeah, because it's so
But
cheap.
isn't that a kind of waste of money too?
Yeah, but it's really cheap, because just to send it off, so that's why
Yeah,
most people do it. And because of softwares like Keep, you just have to click a button and it goes to 100 people, so you're like, okay, it's not really wasting too much of my time, why don't I just send
right,
it off? Yeah.
right. But you know how
So
if 50% of those emails are not received well,
hmm.
is that creating a bad reputation for your company where people just see you as spammers?
It does create bad reputation for the company, I feel. I mean, this is my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Hence, you need to make sure that the content that you're trying to send is credible. Like, what are you trying to sell? Are you one of those who messages a company and says that, okay, let's fix a meeting, like you had pointed out? Or are
Close
you one of
line.
those, are you one of those who is just asking you to buy the product on the first day? No, there are the touch points to a potential customer needs to be, uh, it's called micro commitment. You
Okay.
cannot make them buy a product, especially if it's an expensive product, on day one. You need to micromanage. First is you need to send them, for example, a newsletter, a blog, a new case study that your company has published, a new white paper that has come
Mm,
out. Once you send them that, and you know that this company was looking for a custom software or something, and you have sent an article around how to select the right custom software company, or
mm,
that would arouse more interest. They would be more happy to open that link. That
yeah,
would increase your click.
yeah,
They, once they open the link, they would be willing to put in their the personal contacts and stuff. So you are sort of trying to make them micro commit. it, it's
right.
a long process. You cannot just do it like this. So
Right. So you're saying, send out those emails, but like if you're sending out emails with content, not just hey Sonia, how are you today? Blah 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 blah. Can I schedule a meeting with you? You're
yeah.
saying add value to the
Yes.
email, right?
Yes.
Provide some sort of content information that I'm going to be like, oh, I was just recently looking for something like this. I'm
Yeah,
going to open this, right? So something that sparks that I want to
exactly.
read this email versus like I think my brain has already trained itself to find these spam emails and just I don't even read them. I
Yeah.
already know how they start,
Mm.
and it's just junk. And
Yeah.
sometimes I go through my junk and I'm sort of reviewing. I'm like, oh, that's actually a good one. Back to my inbox, but
Yeah.
it's just my brain is just programmed to ignore all of them,
Yeah.
right?
Because you cannot be lazy when you're trying to market, because it's a very competitive world right now, especially for marketers. So you cannot be lazy when you're trying to create content. You need
Right.
to give it a thought. You need to segregate your clients and then create a content tailored to that particular
Yeah.
type of clients. So
I like that. I like
yeah.
that. Don't be lazy. I like that. Don't be lazy. Do your research on your clients. I like
Yeah.
that a lot. Okay, last question. Is social media advertising and promoting effective for all businesses?
um I would say, okay, it's my personal opinion. Obviously, I would say it is useful in the case of a high engagement product,
Okay.
where the complexity of the product is is easily as understood to the masses. Uh, like for example, you're trying to sell a new iPhone. It, everybody knows, okay, it's iPhone the latest
10,
one.
11,
iPhone 10,
13,
11,
14.
12,
I think
13,
we
and they are willing to pay. So you don't need to really, or in case of healthcare, you can say over the counter medicines. You can, yeah, 100% on board. You can do them. Uh, you can use social media advertising. It will be effective everywhere. But
Mhm.
I feel it's not so effective for low engagement products, especially for software companies, because you need to create a specific channel for a specific set of customers. You cannot sell custom software or any tech product to somebody who really doesn't need it. So
Right,
yeah,
right.
so a one size fits all won't work in this case.
So if
uh,
I'm selling a hoodie, the answer is yes, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay.
that's my opinion. And especially for early startups, I mean, like, a bad review would really hamper your online presence. Like, very early in you're really trying to set up all the aspects, customer success team and everything, but a bad review, you've got the first review you got was a bad review, that's it.
Yeah.
uh, my friends in tourism sector say that social media, they really don't like social media, because one customer who's had a bad experience, and generally people who are more than willing to write a review are those who are angry
Are
with it.
unhappy. Yeah. I very rarely meet someone who's like, oh, I had a really good experience. Let me go online and chat about it. It's usually
Yeah,
people who've had a bad experience. I
uh,
hate that.
they are more vocal, and they will
They're
definitely
very
discourage others.
expressive.
So yeah, so I would really, I don't believe that every business should can be promoted on social media that easily.
Okay, so I think we got a lot out of this conversation, especially for people that are looking for some marketing strategies, looking to figure out what they should and shouldn't be doing, and what they can do on a budget if that's the case. And I know that we'll probably have you on again, and by the time you come back and we chat about marketing again, it'll be like a completely different thing. I know recently Google made some changes, and that's going to affect the way people are doing SEO
Oh,
and
yes, it already is.
AdWords. Yeah.
Hmm.
So, in this digital age that we live in, it's constantly changing. So
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to have more chats about lots more marketing strategies and things like this. So, Kunal, thank you so much for coming on and having this chat with me. It was lovely, and we'll have you on again. Thank you to all the listeners who came on. If anyone has any questions, you can reach out to myself or Kunal anytime. We'll provide you our information. And stay tuned for our next episode, which will be soon with lots of more guests and information. Thank you and happy
Thank you
Friday.
for having me.
Thanks, Kunal. Okay.